I gotta say one thing though.
Yeah.
First and foremost,
We do have the phone call.
we do have the phone call, but I will say this: I personally should not have nutted within a 304 like this. Now, granted, things happen, whether true or not. But like you said, James, I'll keep my mouth shut because I have some info here I want to share with the chat.
This record, I have to tell you, the recording we are discussing, and in all of these situations, when there is a recording of this kind, which there always is, because why would you be recording the conversation unless you plan to use that to stick somebody up?
Yeah.
Normal, rational human beings who are acting in good faith don't record their conversations. Especially too when they're being mindful of the fact that there's a difference between a one-party state and a two-party state when it comes to consent for recordings, and that, again, it's a felony in the state of Florida to record a conversation without the consent of the other party. And if you then publish it, that's a separate felony. So that's two felonies for the price of one. But again, the reality here is, if you want to play the recording, go ahead. People have heard it. People have listened to it. You know what? Congratulations. You're important enough of a person that people actually pay attention when someone's talking about you. And that is in and of itself an accomplishment. There are a whole lot of guys right now who a girl is calling them and saying, I'm having a baby and it's definitely yours. And nobody cares. No one would care. No one's interested. Everyone's just looking at it going, okay, whatever. It happens. The reality is, in your situation, everybody's very interested in this. Everybody wants to talk about it. But again, the reality for you is there are civil and criminal remedies for the kinds of things that are happening here.
Yeah.
And they're not to be leveled at you. So if we want to listen to that recording, you want to play that recording for anybody who's been under a rock and didn't get to hear it, fine. The only context I would give before playing it is listen to it. Is that a normal conversation? Is this a conversation of a woman who is having a sincere conversation with a human being? Or is this someone who knows that they're recording this? And when you know you're the one who's recording the conversation and that you can change it, modify it, splice it, edit it, you don't hear what was on the call before, you don't hear what was on the call after. And to be candid, guys, I don't know if anybody realizes we're living in 2024. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a courtroom where there is audio that we've had to have digital forensic experts come in, spend $30,000 to show that it was modified audio. You can go right now. There's any number of products available right now from OpenAI, ChatGPT, all the various companies that are doing this type of work, where you can take small snippets of someone's audio and you can have this person saying 5 or 10 sentences, and then you can literally dub anything that's to be said. And I have to tell you, you may not know it, guys, there's a lot of recordings of you talking out there. I could put together if you said almost any word in the English language, I could find an example of you saying it. So again, I think it's very, very important, if you're going to listen to this or any recording of some poor innocent young woman who's calling some fellow and just happens to be recording it and just happens to be making sure that when she's having that conversation, she seems like something of a victim in the situation and keeps steering the situation in directions that would make for good internet publication. When you listen to it with that ear. See if it sounds a little bit different.
Let's play it just for the audience to kind of, because it's kind of actually crazy when you listen to it, and it's amazing that like people don't have the critical thinking skills to not see that clearly this was like intentional. And it's funny because she made this phone call and then literally within minutes it's up on Instagram. And
I have to tell you,
I was like, what the hell?
I could have dubbed this call because as I'm listening, I'm going, oh yeah, it's this one. Like I have listened now to 50 of these from professional athletes, influencers, hedge fund guys, top name surgeons in the city at top hospitals. I mean, it really is. Successful men have a target on their back. And this is one of the most classic old school shakedowns. This is one of those ones that, again, I could do the phone call. Like, I could have told you. I listened to it and I was like, oh yeah, it's that. It's like she went in and picked like menu option A, you know, and that's the call. It's like I could, if it wasn't breaking attorney-client privilege, I got about a half a dozen celebrities that you've probably seen in films and TV that I'd put you in touch with, and they'd go, oh yeah, I got that call. I remember that call. Her name was Janet, you know. Oh, I remember that call. That was Kiki, you know, and that's how it is. And by the way, you guys live in the city where those calls always come from. I don't know what it is about Miami. Maybe that's why I haven't come on. I'm afraid I'm going to show up in Miami and suddenly I'll get out of the airplane and someone will claim they're pregnant with my child. Like, I'm afraid that will happen instantly when I get off of a plane at MIA airport.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Play it.
No worries. We'll run it real quick, and then I know Fresh can't talk as much, but I'll give a little bit of my commentary because I haven't said anything about this shit either, and obviously. Let's just play the call real fast. Yeah. Let's just play it.
Go for it.
Obviously, I know that there's legal proceedings going on. Oh, go ahead, Bills. My bad.
I want the baby because I don't want to kill the baby. I don't want to kill nobody. I don't want to.
You're not. They just give you a pill and it's over.
No. I'm pregnant.
No, but that's what I'm saying. The pill, they just give it to you from a doctor and then you're good.
I am pregnant. I can't pretending like nothing happened. I can't. In my religion, we don't kill.
You're not killing.
Pause.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but she's using extreme language and she's calling, saying, I don't want to do this, etc. And she's fishing for a response, right? It's very obvious. And the thing, too, is that, like, I mean, I know this. Like, there was an agreement that they weren't going to ever have kids. Like, but why is she calling now saying, oh, I'm pregnant?
It's so funny because how she's talking, I'm like shocked because I'm like, normally you don't talk like this.
Yeah.
It's more like it's following a script.
Yeah.
Almost. But I'm like,
and it's good on your part because you didn't really say too much.
Nah.
But
I'm like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So
again, there was an agreement that they weren't gonna like have kids or anything like that, and then now she's coming in saying like, oh, I'm pregnant and I don't want to kill the baby and all this other stuff, and it's like, what the hell? Like, well,
she brought in religion.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing right now?
She's not religious, guys. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue on.
I want to keep the baby.
Okay. Well, like I said, I just don't want any kids.
Pause.
You know?
Very obvious fishing for a response, like, what the hell are you doing? No, you better not, blah, blah, blah. Like, she was trying to fish for an emotional reaction to make you look crazy there.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, we can keep.
And this is a pretty classic tactic, guys, because the reality is that, I've done this in a courtroom so many times. I've played these kinds of recordings. I can't tell you how many times I've heard what are you doing? No, don't hit me. Oh, my God. What is that knife? Why do you have that knife? And meanwhile, my client's like, I was on the other side of the room. And I had a banana in my hand that I was eating, you know. And she, oh, my God, what is that gun you're holding? You know, so the sound I have heard many times, the sound I just heard, and that is the sound of a man who almost sounds like he's got PTSD. But he's like, wait, what are we talking about? What is going on? Like, who am I talking to right now? This sounds insane. Who speaks this way? Who pauses in that way as if for, okay, now let's let you talk. Let's get some dramatic effect going. Like, this is not a conversation between two adults who are talking about something not for performance purposes, one-sided performance purposes, but because they actually want to have a dialogue. And again, ask yourselves, what kind of person, if you were dealing with something truthful and this serious, does this, records it, and immediately publishes it on the internet, and then continues to follow it up with more internet postings? What kind of human being, is a serious human being do that? Does a person who has any self-respect or respect for other people do that?
Does someone who actually want to have a kid do that?
No.
Like that's the other thing too for all you simps in the fucking chat right now. Abortion. Bro, do you think someone who's actually really pregnant with a child will do this shit? Like,
well, and what I'll tell you too is a
classic
tactic on this. Classic tactic on this.
Like,
is
some fucking simps in the chat.
It becomes the I'm going to need some money to terminate pregnancy. I'm also going to need some money to recover after that because it was very traumatic for me. Or if that shakedown doesn't work, it turns in a couple of months. I lost the baby. My goodness, I lost the baby. It's so, and by the way, now I'm very upset that I lost the baby. And obviously I'm not going to return the money for the stroller and for the car and for all the down payment on the condo that I said that I needed because I was going to have your child. But yes, I lost the baby. And if you say, well, are you sure you were pregnant? Are you, oh, how dare you ask that? Look, I have something from Planned Parenthood that I've posted on my social media that, you know, there's no way to edit a PDF, guys. Don't you know that? Don't you know there's no way to take a generic piece of paper from Planned Parenthood that anybody could get for $10 and change it to say whatever it is you wanted to say? And then in a few months, just turn around and say, oh, I lost the baby. It's such a tragedy. And again, if you defend yourself, if you say anything in the court of public opinion, you lose no matter what, which is why, again, you know, revenge is a dish best served cold. There are criminal and civil penalties for this kind of behavior.
Wait, I can't respond, right? Damn. I want to say something
nope,
so bad.
You cannot respond. Sorry. I'm directing you not to respond. I know you want to. They can kill me in the chat if they want to. Grow up, go to law school, and then you can tell your clients whatever the hell you want to tell them. But I am telling you, this is not the time to make this comment. Because I know there's a lot of additional information you have, because I know that information. But I'm telling you, now is not the time. Yeah. Let somebody just keep digging the hole. Let them just keep digging the hole, because that's the time you unleash the information.
Play the thing.
Please keep going. This is an Oscar-worthy performance.
Yeah, it's a few more seconds, and it's crazy to me how people are, you know, immediately saying like, "Oh, she's pregnant. Yo, you're encouraging an abortion, etc." Bro, we don't know if it's even true. Like, you know, they say hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Like, bro, this at the end of the day, let me just fucking say this. She's mad because Fresh didn't want to get her a fucking apartment in Miami. Ta-da! There you guys fucking go. All right? She's mad because Fresh didn't want to fucking get her an apartment in Miami and he didn't want to be with her no more. That's why she's doing all this shit. All right? She did a pregnancy test before in fucking Barbados and it came back negative. Sorry, I had to fucking say this shit. It's fucking annoying me. These fucking ass clowns in the chat saying all this bullshit, whatever. There's a high likelihood it's not true, and she's doing this shit because she knows that she's done. She knows that he don't want to be with her no more, so she's like, let me take the fucking building down with me. Let me burn this bitch down and make him look terrible. Let me record this fucking phone call, premeditated, call it, make him get a reaction so I could put this shit on the internet, put it on Instagram stories immediately after, right? And this is what I mean when I say you ass clowns don't know what the fuck is going on in the fucking chat talking all the shit. Bro, it's abortion. Bro, it's so bad. He killed a baby. Nigga, there probably isn't a baby there. That's what I'm trying to tell you, motherfuckers. It happened to me. What is it? You guys remember 3 years ago? Some fucking chick, 3 weeks later, oh, I'm pregnant. It was a fucking lie. She used that shit to do a media run, went everywhere, did interviews all over the place, ran her OnlyFans up. Did you guys forget about that? Did you guys forget about that? That shit happened to me too. And it's happening again.
Gentlemen, I can tell you, it is you are in a huge fraternity. I'm not kidding when I say that this is the sign of success. I cannot, because of attorney-client privilege, tell you how many men in a 25-year career I have seen this exact story play out with. Much of the time, there was no pregnancy. Much of the time, there was a pregnancy that mysteriously miscarries a short time later, usually after the check clears or the wire transfer is completed. Sometimes there is, in fact, a pregnancy, but many of the times, once that pregnancy comes to completion, wouldn't you know, the DNA test reveals that the individual who was alleged to be the father of this child, usually the one with a 7 or 8 figure bank account, turns out to not be it. And the scumbag boyfriend who they had on the side, who, makes minimum wage, he was the one who happens to have all the genetic markers tied to this child. So, there's a whole lot of ways this story ends at the majority of the time. And again, now is not we're not doing a post-mortem on this situation yet because it's not done yet. But I will tell you with a very high degree of confidence, knowing a lot more about this situation than anyone in this situation other than the gentleman himself, that there is a lot more happening here and a lot more information that if you were a reckless individual and ignoring my advice as counsel, you would unleash immediately both barrels. But I appreciate that you are at least following some of my advice. The fact that we're talking about this at all means you're not completely following my advice. The reality is you don't talk, you walk, and that talking is about this stuff just gives it oxygen. I mean, you're just giving this individual's 15 minutes, another 15 minutes. I understand why you're doing it. I understand that it's important to want to protect yourself, and I understand that your partner here is less restrained and certainly wants to protect you, which I respect the bonds of brotherhood in that way. But if you want to finish listening to the last few seconds of this Oscar-worthy performance,
yeah,
I think we certainly can do that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bells. You got it.
Okay, so what you gonna do? And what you gonna do to me?
What you gonna do to me?
Nothing. Well, why did I do anything to you?
Nothing?
Well, why did I do anything to you?
No, I know. So, like, how are you gonna deal with this? By saying I don't want a baby? That's all?
I mean, I can go to the doctor, I guess.
To the doctor. So you want abortion?
I mean, yeah. Why do you want a kid now?
And why do you make me pregnant now?
So I'm like, there's no way that's true. But then I said, oh, wow. Like,
So just think about it. It's
Pause.
meant to be.
Can I say why that might not be true? Or no, I can't.
No, not right now.
All right.
God wants you to have the baby.
Now God's
definitely
involved.
not.
It is. God wants you to have a baby. 7 years never happened.
Pause real
and
quick,
then you're
'cause-
relating.
Pause real quick. A lot of you fucking guys in the chat, I don't know what you guys forgot or whatever. Some of you guys like think we're trad cons over here or we're super religious. We said it a million times. I'm not a practicing Muslim. Fresh isn't a practicing Christian.
Correct.
We run a fucking dating podcast for all you ass clowns and teach you guys how to get laid. So what the fuck makes you guys think that we're sitting here and we're being traditionally conservative and all religious and shit? We've never been religious. We brought guests on that are religious that talk about religion and etc. But we're not, because we bring guests on that have different viewpoints than us and we're okay with that. We don't have an echo chamber over here. But we've told you guys a million times, we're not fucking religious. So don't sit there and try to hold us to some standard like, abortion's against the rule, all this other bullshit. Bro, number one, this chick ain't pregnant. It's fucking cap, in my opinion. I think it's a fucking lie, right? Because bitches have done this shit to me. It's happened. That's number one. Number two, we are not religious, okay, guys? We said this a million times. So you guys try to sit there, Fresh, you claim to be a man of God, you're a man of Christ, blah, blah. Fresh has said many times, I'm a man of God, and he's just kidding around. Y'all know that we deal with fucking chicks. We teach y'all how to get them.
Yeah.
Like,
We give you a set
we're
clear
not
advice.
tradcons over here.
Yeah. And
Gentlemen, the reality here is everyone who is listening to this, particularly any man who is listening to this, I know the majority of your audience is male, anyone who is listening to this, this should put a chill down your spine. You are not safe. You're only safe if you're unsuccessful. So feel free to be unsuccessful. You'll never have this problem. But I guarantee you that if you are a successful man, at some point, these kinds of allegations get made. I've had these allegations made against people who go, I've never even been in the same state as this woman. I've never been in a room with her. Or every time I've been in a room with her, there were other people there. This happens to married men. This happens to Muslims, Christians, Jews. This happens to pretty much everybody. And I will tell you, again, listen to this recording. If you've taken the time to listen to the recording, listen to the recording. If this, I have to say, if she has any aspirations to ever becoming a narcotics officer in the police department, she should consider another alternative. Because her doing a controlled buy would be like, so I am going to be purchasing cocaine now from you. How would you feel about my purchase of that cocaine? Will you sell that to me now, the cocaine? And then the buyer, I'm sorry, what did you want to sell? The cocaine that I wish to purchase that you are going to sell to me. I will have that cocaine now. Like, look, the reality is this is not how someone speaks when they're having an actual conversation. This is, if you said to me that her voice was AI, I would say, you know what, AI is way better than that. Like, this is shitty AI. Because what this is someone who really has no future as an actress. Because this is so unbelievably a setup. This is a professional hit. And why? If you can't see that, you're blind. And if you see that and then give credit to anything that this person is saying, then shame on you. And certainly don't claim to be, oh, I'm a man of God or I'm not, whatever. Because look, the reality here is there's truth and there's fiction. And the reality of this recording is this is not a good faith conversation in any capacity. This is a setup. This is a hit. And when someone does a setup, a hit, and immediately unleashes that to the public for the purposes of clout chasing or a shakedown financially, anything else that comes out of that person's mouth, the Bush doctrine applies. We do not negotiate with terrorists. We don't do that. That's not what we do.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, even us having this stream, I didn't even want to do it. I wanted to do an IRL stream and like get back to it, but people were just bombarding us with this. So it's like, all right, we'll address it for you guys. But it amazes me that you guys are so quick to believe some fucking bimbo that gets on the internet that clearly did this, set it up, premeditated, went to Instagram immediately after illegally recording a phone call, and you guys are so quick to say, wow, Fresh, you're such a bad guy, blah, blah, blah. Bro, this chick is lying. This is my take. I mean, I'm not privy to the conversations that Fresh had with his counsel, but I'm telling you as an outsider looking at it, I'm like, bro, this is a fucking lie. Because a girl did this to me literally 3 years ago. And what did she do with it? She did it to run up her OnlyFans. She did it to run up her social media. She did it to make money. Girls do this shit. And the fact that you guys sit here and say, well, red pill aware, we know what's going on, etc. And you guys believe this shit, hook, line, and sinker, you fucking simps. And it's for all you idiots out there that are saying, Myron, hold him accountable. Man, you know what? I already held him accountable behind the scenes. I told him he was a fucking dumbass. I told him he's a fucking retard. I told him, why the fuck are you doing this shit? And I fucking yelled at him about this shit. I don't need to fucking yell at him in front of you fucking pieces of shit. Fuck y'all. You guys don't have to be privy to our personal conversations. Why shit on him for being a dumbass? I already had that fucking conversation. I don't want to do it again on the air for your fucking appeasement in front of you fucking dickheads. Okay? Because the reality is a lot of you guys that are criticizing Fresh are not doing better than him. A lot of you motherfuckers are fat fucking losers that live with your fucking mom trying to sit here and counsel him. Ooh, why did you not some thought? He made a fucking mistake. He's a dumbass for it, and we all fucking know that shit. Okay? I don't have to fucking shit on him in front of 40,000 people for you guys to know that I fucking shit on him behind the scenes. We had a very long conversation about this shit already. Okay? I don't have to fucking sit here and shit on my friends in front of you guys.
When I first came on, before we started recording, and I spoke with the two of you briefly, I said to both of you that I think that the less that's said about this, the better from a legal perspective. There's a script that I often give to clients, which is I have no specific recollection of any wrongdoing, although I acknowledge mistakes may have been made. I'd like to move forward past this unfortunate incident. You should write that shit down. I will tell you, there's a reason why you guys are excellent communicators. You have a great point of view. It's why I was a fan before I was your counsel. But I got to tell you, man, you're killing me right now. You're killing me with what you're saying right now. Because again,
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
From an entertainment and a reality perspective, I love it. Preach, my friends. But now is not the time to unleash the Kraken here.
I'm done.
We've got there's a lot being said right now, and I appreciate, Walter, that you are taking my advice and you are not saying it, but we are going down roads that we do not need to go down right now. There will be time, as I've said now 4 or 5 times in this conversation, revenge is a dish best served cold. There are consequences for behavior, and it is not consequences against you I am talking about. There are consequences for the kinds of behaviors, for this kind of a professional attempt at a hit. Because I have to tell you, if you're going to strike at the king, you better kill the king. Because if you don't, he's still got a bigger platform than you. So this is one of those things that, again, just, I'm going to say it one more time. You can listen or you can ignore it. Now is not the time for all of this information to be put out there.
Yeah, no, my bad. I just
No, not your bad. I appreciate it, but there is a time. There will be a time. now is not that time. I am advising you again, very emphatically, that now is not the time to share the many things you have to say, the many screenshots, all of the media information, all the things that I'm able to view that, I because of the benefit of attorney-client privilege.
No, of course.
I'm telling you, now is not the time.